Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Welcome to those who are in the sanctuary and those several people that are online tonight. As our dear Rabbi always says, we're all one holy community, no matter where we are. By the way, he is not here tonight. He and John are on vacation, and so we have a very well-deserved vacation. And so we are pleased to have the former Hollywood group of MDM, that's MDM, it would be Marcia, Denny, and Mike will be your rabbis du jour this evening. And the three of us and some other people in the congregation are going through a program to learn to actually do this the right way. When the rabbi is gone, there'll be a group of people, a confederacy, if you will, who will be able to conduct various types of services. So we're getting the hang of it right now. Later on, we'll be joined by another person in the congregation, Sophia Hugo, and you'll see her up here when four of us are standing around here singing. Okay, I'm going to ask that you turn to page 128. 128, and our other singers will come around here, and we will start our service with Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat, join us, Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. One more time. Maya Hayom. Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Hayom. Shabbat, Shalom.
For those of you that often come Friday night, you know that there's some time during the service where Rabbi will often ask us to think of something that happened through the week that was lovely, something that made you happy, that just felt good. And he'll ask you to hold on to that thought through Shabbat. Keep that warm feeling going and hold on to it as we move through Shabbat. And then he'll often ask us to think of something difficult, something that happened that might have been hard, and that we should let that go, put that aside, and let it sit through Shabbat. Don't worry about it, don't think about it. At the end of Shabbat, if you need to pick it up again, it'll be there, and you can deal with it next week. So with that in mind, I will ask you to please turn to page 125. And I will read the first paragraph, and then I will ask all of you to read the next two paragraphs. Where has this week vanished? Is it lost forever? The joy of life, will I ever recover anything from it? The joy of life, the unexpected victory, the realized hope, the task accomplished. Will I ever be able to banish the memory of pain, the sting of defeat, the heaviness of boredom? On this day, let me keep for a while what must drift away. On this day, let me be free of the burdens that must return. On this day, Shabbat abide.
Help me to withdraw for a while from the flight of time. Continue to retreat of the hours and
Days for grass of frantic life. Let me learn to pause, if only for this day. Let me find peace on this day. Let me enter into a quiet world this day. On this day, Shabbat abide. At this time, I'd like to call on Mimi Zellman to come up and light the Shabbat candles. Please turn to page 120.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Amen.
Shabbat shalom.
Please turn the page to 132. 132. Sing to Adonai a new song. Sing to Adonai all the earth. Sing to Adonai, bless God's name. Proclaim God's victory day after day. Tell of God's glory among the nations, God's wondrous deeds among all peoples. For Adonai is great and much admired. God is held in awe by all divine beings. All the gods of all the people are mere idols, but Adonai made the heavens. Glory and majesty are before God. If we turn now, please, to 138, we will welcome in Shabbat with Lakadodi, and we will, as always, sing verses 1, 5, and 9. And when we get to 9, please rise and face the open doors to the sanctuary so this Shabbat energy can go find a place where it's well needed. So, Lakadodi.
Likadodi, likrakala, yalala, 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 b'nei Shabbat, nekabela. Likadodi, likrakala, yalala, 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 b'nei Shabbat, nekabela. Shamor v'zakor, v'didimu echad, ishmi'enu, Adonai echad, Shmo echad, l'shem u'tiferet, v'li'tigala. Likadodi, likakala, yadala, 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 b'nei Shabbat, nekabela. Likadodi, likakala, yadala, 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 b'nei Shabbat, nekabela. Hitoreri, hitoreri, kivaret kumiori, uri, uri, shir daberi, kavod Adonai, alayich nigla. Likadodi, likrakala, yalala, 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 b'nei Shabbat, nekabela. Likadodi, likrakala, yalala, 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 b'nei Shabbat, nekabela. Oiv v'shalom, ateret balav, gam b'simcha u'b'tzola, toch emuneh am segula, boi chala, boi chala. Lekadodi,
likra kala yalala 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 b'nei Shabbat mekabela lecha dodi likra kala yalala 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 b'nei Shabbat mekabela. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Shabbat shalom. Everybody turn around, wave to everybody you see in the room, and be sure to go back there where Sam is and wave to those people online. Thank you for being here today.
You may be seated. I keep forgetting to bring my book. Please turn to page 140. Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat, a psalm, a song for Shabbat. It is good to praise Adonai, to sing hymns to your name, O Most High, to proclaim your steadfast love at daybreak, your faithfulness each night, with a 10-stringed harp, with voice and lyre together. You have gladdened me by your deeds, Adonai. I shout for joy at your handiwork. How great are your works, Adonai. How very subtle your designs. At this time, turn to page 142 and join us in singing Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharei, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei HaMalachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Malachem Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seitchem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei HaMalachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seitchem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei HaMalachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Please rise for Chatzi Kaddish. That's page 144.
V'yikadash Shemei Rabbah, Ya'adiv Rakutei, Yamik Malkutei, B'chayekonu, Yomekon, U'gadei Nekol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala, Ba'agala, U'bizman Karev, V'yimaru, Shmei Rabbah Mitorah, Ya'alom Me'amaya, Yitbarak, Yitbarak, Yishtabak, Yitbarak, Yiromam, Yitnaseh, Yitadar, Yitalev, Yitalal, Shemei Kedusha, B'rehu, Le'elam, Mikol Mirata, V'shirata, Tush Bekata V'nechemata, Ta'amiram Yama, V'imaru, Amen.
And please turn to the next page and join us in the Baruch Hu. Please stay standing.
La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai, Hamevorach. Baruch Adonai, Hamevorach, Hamevorach, Le'olam Va'ed. Hamevorach, Hamevorach, Le'olam Va'ed.
You may be seated. Please turn to page 149. Please join me reading the second paragraph. The one that starts with "This is an hour." Please join me. This is an hour of change. Within it, we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Yeah. Thank you. Baruch atah Adonai Hamariv Haravim.
Please turn to page 150. I will read the first sentence on page 150 and then continue on the top of the next page, 151. Everlasting love you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Please turn to the next page and rise for Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Please be seated and turn to page 154 for the Via Hafta. Please join us. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודרכת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלבדך בדרך ושפך וקומך וקשרתם על ידך ובלבדך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Please join me in reading the top of page 157, and then we will go on 158 to do the Mikamoka. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before we ever stood at Sinai's foot. Wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. Mikamoka on 158.
Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Mi chamocha bo'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osef eleh, nora tehilot osef eleh. Malachutecha ra'u vanecha, okei ayam lifnei Moshe v'Miriam, Ze'eli anu v'yamru, Ze'eli anu v'yamru. Adonai yimlo le'olam va'ed, Adonai yimlo le'olam va'ed.
Page 160, the bottom three lines of English. Please join me. Grant, O God, that we lay down in peace and rise up with us, our guardian, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace.
Guide us with your good counsel, for your name's sake, be our help.
Shield us and center us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and coming, through life and to peace evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us. Baruch atah Adonai, haparei sukkot shalom aleinu ve'akol amo Yisrael ve'a Yerushalayim.
Please join us at the top of that page in the Hebrew, either the transliteration or the Hebrew for Hashkivenu. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain.
the service, the Amidah, we will say together the prayers on 164, 166, 168, and 170. And after that, we'll have silent reflection till page 180. So please join us.
Adonai sifatatiktak ufia kita ilatecha. Adonai, open my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, 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 Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, El Hagadol, HaGibor HaNorah, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasserot Ha'imahot, V'nei Gdula B'nei B'neihem, V'man Shemo B'Yahava, Melech Ozer, Mashiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Bezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mekayeh HaKol Atah B'Mashiach, Mashiach Baruch Uri Hashem, Mekayeh Chayim B'Chesed, Mekayeh HaKol B'Rachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim V'Rofei Kolim, Umatir Asarim, Umkayeh Emunato, Lishanei Afar, Mikamo Kalapal Gilurot, Umido Melach, Melech Me'id Umakayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'naman atah v'kordu Baruch atah Adonai, Makei HaKol. Atah kadosh, Shimcha kadosh, U'toshim b'chol yom v'chasela. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
Please read a prayer or prayers between pages 170 to 180 silently, or find a prayer from your own heart. And when you're done, please be seated. At this time, I would like to invite Sophia to join us as we are going to sing Oseh Shalom, page 180. And Sophia is joining us so we can provide this in 4-part harmony. She's our soprano.
Oseh Shalom Bimroma, Uyaseh Shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'yimeru, Amen. Oseh Shalom Bimroma, Uyaseh Shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'yimeru, Amen.
Okay, at this time, we want to think about those in our community and elsewhere that are in need of healing. I will read to you the list of people on our Misha Berach list, and then I will ask for you to add any names that you are thinking of, people who are in need of healing. Fran Adler, Neil Bacher, Ruth Bloom, Andrew Bozell, Bircha Bat Bracha, Adrian Braitman, Roberta Butts, Todd Crago, Janet Finkel, Nola Katinsky, Kaylin Nagel, Tom O'Neill, Ann Rosenberg, Debbie Charay, Gary Smythe, Deb Valensky. Any other names? All right, we will sing Misha Berach on page 371. Is that the right page, guys? 371.
Misha Berach Avotenu, Mekor HaBracha, Imotenu, may the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu, Mekor HaBracha, Lavotenu, bless those in need of healing, with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Ordinarily, you would hear Rabbi Meir at this time, but at this point, you're going to listen to me for a little while here. I've done a little research, and our Parsha for this week is Parshat Terumah, which begins at Exodus 25, verse 1. So what's the story here, and why do we need to know this? It's interesting that right after the description of the covenant that God makes with the children of Israel, instead of continuing the story of the Jews' journey in the desert, the Torah chooses to describe the work done in the tabernacle. Why? How is a community built? What are society's most basic needs? The answer to these questions may lie within the first chapter of the book of Exodus. The first to call the children of Israel a nation is Pharaoh. He said to his people, "Behold, the nation of the children of Israel are more numerous and stronger than we are." That's the first chapter of Exodus. Pharaoh was the first who understood that the children of Jacob, once just a large family, had now developed into a nation. Fearing the nation of Israel would one day overwhelm Egypt, he decides to subjugate them. And this is where the story begins. The nascent nation takes shape through their common experiences, such as exile and subjugation, the plagues in Egypt, the nation's departure from that land, the splitting of the Red Sea, and the subsequent Song of the Sea. The icing on the cake was the formative event at the giving of the Torah on Mount Sinai, when the entire nation was camped against the foothills of the mountain, an entire people united, their hearts beating as one, as they stood up and proudly proclaimed, "We will do and we will listen." That, by the way, is from last week's Torah portion, Parsha Mishpatim. After the awesome events at Mount Sinai, which have left their mark on the Jewish people ever since, the Torah enumerates dozens of commandments between man and fellow man, emphasizing social justice and the proper treatment of the weaker elements of society. At the end of Parashat Mishpatim, we find a description of the covenant enacted between God and the nation of Israel. From this point on, we would have expected to encounter more stories about the nation traveling through the desert as it prepares to enter the promised land, as well as further details about the commandments. This, however, isn't what happens. The text doesn't continue with the commandments between man and fellow man, such as commandments concerning the implementation of a judicial system or the laws regarding damages. It doesn't discuss commandments between man and God, either like the laws of Shabbat, the festivals, or kosher food. Instead, the 5 parashot we read in the upcoming weeks will deal almost exclusively with the construction of the tabernacle and its vessels. The text contains a detailed description of the Holy Ark, the table, the menorah, the altars, the curtains, the tent poles, and other items used in the ceremonies performed in the tabernacle. Some vessels are gold, while others are silver. Some textiles are dyed sky blue, while others are dyed scarlet. Why then does the Torah continue with such a detailed description of the construction of the tabernacle, instead of the other commandments that it could have discussed? One answer is that it wished to batten down the hatches, as it were. The commentators disagree over whether the Torah is written in chronological order and whether the commandment to construct the tabernacle was issued before the sin of the golden calf. Without delving into this issue, perhaps the purpose of recording this commandment at this point in the text is to teach us the proper uses of gold before the Torah begins describing how it was misused. Another reason can be found in the words of Nachmanides, who writes in his commentary to Exodus 25:2 that after God gave the children of Israel a few commandments, which are like the principles of the commandments, and Israel accepted to do all that God would command them through the hand of Moses, and God made a covenant with them about all of this. Behold, from then they are God's as a people, and Adonai is for them a God. After the nation of Israel declared, "We are your sons and daughters, and you are our Father. We are your nation, and you are our God," the time was ripe, and the people were ready for the next stage, determining where the Almighty would dwell within the nation, and from where God would speak to Moses and connect with the entire nation. Perhaps through a close reading of the words that begin with this parasha, we'll attain another insight tied to the sequence of the parashot that involve building a community. When referring to the Holy Ark, the text reads, "And you, plural, shall make an ark." Though when referring to the other vessels, the text reads, "And you, singular, shall make." This transition from the plural to the singular is indicative of the Torah's character. The Torah belongs to everyone, as echoed in the Gemara, which is a part of the Talmud, which states that the Torah is wrapped and placed in the corner. Anyone who wishes to study can come and study. The entire nation is connected to the Torah. The entire nation said, "We will do and we will listen." The Torah and its messages belong to everyone, to the entire community, as reflected in the Shemot Rabbah. The Holy One said to Moses, "All can come and busy themselves with the ark, so that all come and merit the Torah." We are all commanded to take part and participate in the building of the tabernacle. And this can teach us an important lesson for society at large. We have been given the responsibility and the obligation to work together in order to sanctify God's heavenly name on earth. Each individual brings whatever inspires their generosity and whatever the individual can and will be able to contribute, which could be silver, gold, or even skills such as weaving, engraving, or embroidery. Included is giving of our time as well. We are all responsible for building our communities, including Congregation Akduth V'Shalom. The entire nation is a partner in this endeavor, and each individual can make his or her contribution. But the thought behind this effort must be that it is done voluntarily. Anything we do for the community is done as a contribution. This contribution could elevate the general public or our surroundings into a better place. Think of Tikkun Olam. Building a society grounded in the Torah, namely in studying Torah and following its teachings, in avodah, the concept of good work, and more specifically, work done together, with each individual contributing his or her 2 cents for the common good, and in Gemilut Hasadim, bestowing kindness. When our giving is done as a contribution, keeping in mind that whatever we give will serve to benefit others. And with that, I wish you a Shabbat Shalom. Thank you for listening. One of our board members has already been up here doing something, so the other board member here tonight, will take care of the announcements. So I want to again welcome you to the temple, whether you're in this room or back there on Zoom. I'd just like to highlight a few announcements. Please join us for Shabbat services tomorrow morning at 9:45 in the chapel. We have a small supply of salami chubs, still the word salami. They're still for sale at $12.84. We have to collect sales tax while the supplies last, and there aren't many left, so jump in quickly. Please reach out to Samara or Marie if you are interested in purchasing. If you are available, be sure to join us this Sunday morning, February 26th at 10:30 a.m. for Hamantaschen making, and please RSVP to the temple office. Well, it's a little late to do that for Sunday morning. Show up if you've got the opportunity, and they will give you something to do. It's the idea of giving something, contributing to the community. Thoughtful Thursdays will meet this upcoming week on March 1 at 10 a.m. at the temple. Save the date for the congregation's Purim celebrations. The Purim Carnival will be on Sunday, March 5 at noon, and the Purim service and spiel on Monday, March 6 at 7 p.m. We have some cast members here in this room tonight, and you've got to come because you're going to love it. We thank you for our police officer, Chris, who's been out here keeping us safe tonight, and Trent on Saturday. We've got Don Zellman, Usher, Supreme, back here taking care of business. Samara Charay is helping with Zoom. Sam Katinsky is the Zoom operator tonight. And John Tam did bake the challah for the oneg when we get done here tonight. And don't forget, be there in the hallway or out in the lobby for a nice visit and something cool to drink and something nice to eat. Check the temple website, your weekly communications, or Facebook for more information. With that, I'm going to ask that you turn to page 586 and stand, please. Is he going to get to that? Okay. For Aleinu, and then remain standing for a short time. We're starting on page 586, the paragraph that begins in the lower half of the page. Aleinu l'shaberach l'adon hakol, l'atei kedula v'yotzei b'reishit, shalom asanu k'galei haratzot, v'lo samanu k'mishtechot ha'adama, shalom sam elkeinu chahem, v'gor aleinu k'chol ha'amodam, l'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech malkei hamlakim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. V'ne'ema v'aya Adonai, melech kol haaretz, v'yom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shem
try the motor again.
Please be seated, everyone. In a moment, we will be doing the Mourner's Kaddish, which you'll find on page 598. But before we do that, I'd like to set the stage here for reciting the Kaddish. When cherished ties are broken and the chain of love is shattered, only trust and the strength of faith can lighten the heaviness of the heart. At times, the pain of separation seems more than we can bear, but if we dwell too long on our loss, we embitter our hearts and harm ourselves and those about us. The psalmist said that in his affliction, he learned the law of God, and in truth, grief is a great teacher when it sends us back to serve and bless the living. We learn how to counsel and comfort those who, like ourselves, are bowed with sorrow. We learn when to keep silent in their presence and when a word will assure them of our love and concern. Thus, even when they are gone, the departed are with us, moving us to live as, in their higher moments, they themselves wished to live. We remember them now. They live in our hearts. They are an abiding blessing. We now think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. We do have a shalashim that's not in our programs tonight. If I may make this personal, I had a cousin die at the wee hours of Tuesday morning, so I want to remember Diane Pulaski. Also on our Shana list, who have died within the past year, we have Dr. Jerry Lesson, Norman Philip Nahum Pincus, Ethel Schnitt, Macon Dale Traxler, Adria Sachs, Rivka Swedler, David Zemont, Steve Weitzman, Asher Lecklider Stoll, Adolf Breitman, Helena Drozdova, Rabbi Richard Safran, Dr. George Meschel, Ann Warpel, and Solomon Kramer. Tonight we remember those who have their yahrzeit, the anniversary of their death at this season. And we remember tonight Jose Ash, Frida Barris, Molly Bleifeld, Edward Brower, James Walter Burcham, Fanny Cohen, Sam Crystal, Stephen L. Ellis, Fred Fiddler, Sheila Gaspar, Pearl Gladstone, Adrienne Gold, Dr. Conrad Good, Lily Gosney, Saul Greenberg, Eunice Greenstein, Lillian Altman Gubitz, Michael Garasio, Ben Hirsch, Leon Himmelstein, Ruth Horn, Rose Horwitz, Isidore Kaplan, Helen Hassan Kaufman, Gertrude Kessler, Abraham Kritzer, Albert Kudish, Samuel Quatnes, Malcolm Lockman, David Landy, G. Irving Latz, Hattie Lehman, Max Levant, Henry Levy, Edward S. Marin, Sam Pass, Jeannie Phillips, Mary Pollock, Robert Poles, Dr. J. M. Rosenthal, Jesse E. Ross, Cecilia Rothschild, Herman Rudensky, Louis Ruderman, Erwin Samuel Sagan, Max Salin, Tilly Bosell Snow, Rabbi Leo Stillpass, Robert A. Watson, Irving Weinswig, Alexander Baruch Welker, Ralph Wolf, Hannah Frankenstein Zacher, Sadie Zinn. Are there any other names that you would want to mention here tonight that you're remembering? Okay. We also remember those who have died in Ukraine in just war, in all wars, and for those who have no one to say Kaddish for them. We ask you now to stand in solidarity as we recite the Mourner's Kaddish, which again you will find on page 598. Yit Gadal Yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah, Yalmad Yivrak Yeruteh V'Yamlik Malchuteh, V'Kayikon V'Meakon V'Ekol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala U'Bizman Karib V'Imru Amen. Yehi Shemei Rabbah V'Barak Olam Amei Almaya. Yit Barak V'Yishtabak V'Yitparar V'Yitloman V'Yitnaseh. V'Yitadar V'Yitalel V'Yitalal Shemei Dekudashah Bariku. Le'elam Min Kol Birata Barishata. Tush Bekata V'Nekamata. Da'imran V'Amam V'Imru Amen. V'hei Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya. V'chaim Aleinu V'Al Kol Yisrael. V'Imru Amen. Oseh Shalom B'Mramav. Hu Ya'aseh Shalom. Aleinu V'Al Kol Yisrael. V'Imru Amen. May their memories be for blessing. Zikranam Livraka. If you would please remain standing, I would like to recite the Birkat Kohanim, the priestly blessing, and as we leave tonight, let's have these words ringing in our ears, and then be sure and meet for Kiddush and Motzi outside the sanctuary. Yivarecha Adonai Visharecha. May God bless you and keep you. Yair Adonai Panav Alecha Vinuneka. May God's face shine upon you and be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai Panav Alecha V'Yasim Lecha Shalom. May God turn toward you and grant you peace. Amen. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. See you out in the hall.